Hello, this is Dave Jibson, editor of Third Wednesday magazine, here with another edition in our reading series by Third Wednesday contributors. Today's reading will be Stephen M. Smith, author of the poetry collection Strongman Contest from Kelsay Books in 2021. His poems have appeared in publications like the American Journal of Poetry, the Worcester Review, Rattle, and of course, Third Wednesday magazine. He is the Writing Center Director at SUNY Oswego, and he lives in North Syracuse, New York. Now, here is Stephen M. Smith.
This meeting is being recorded.
I'm going to read 6 poems from my book, Strongman Contest. The first poem is entitled, The Garage Attic. There was only one way up steep stairs that my grandfather built out of wooden pallets he found at the town dump. The entrance was a plywood trapdoor, guarded by slivers, cobwebs, and an angry wasp. When I was up there and safe, I'd slide my grandmother's crank phonograph over the trapdoor. I'd remove a stolen cigarette from my hiding spot in the rafters. And I'd do what a lone boy does best. Up there, I could be a ball turret gunner, the first boy to kick up dust on the moon, or a father fishing with his son from a bridge. Something to do. I followed my father around the garage until he shouted, "Find something to do." So I scuffed the unmowed grass with the toes of my bare feet across the bright backyard that summer noon, skipped down the ruts of the lot car path, jostled my meandering way through the pricker patch into the woods where the deer flies circled my head. And then I waded into the clearing where the lingering dew steamed in the shin-deep moss. And there, surrounded by the safety of sugar maples and Scotch pines, I stripped in the dusty heat of the spotlight sun, while the chickadees applauded from huckleberry bush to bush. I got down and sank into the damp moss bed. All around me, the breeze waved ferns big as fans. I explored the clouds that floated like helium-filled mountain ranges, cut off neatly just above their snowy timberlines, until a lonely crow called me back to earth. Strongman Contest. One sleepless summer night, to the coaxing of the crickets' chant, under the spotlight of a full moon, my boozy father sat shirtless on the steps and flexed for the Big Dipper, the Dog Star, all the blazing brawn of the night's center stage. I waited in an eternal line just to feel his hairy biceps. Then I had to arm wrestle him until my elbow felt unhinged and my straining eyes burned to dryness. He flexed again, and the begonias booed. The moths around the yard light mimicked, and the puny bat that swooped from the garage attic chased him into the house for the night. Polio Pond. Polio Pond lay like an eyesore in the old abandoned gravel bed on the far side of the posted landfill. There, it simmered all summer long in a horseshoe-shaped depression, surrounded by gravelly cliffs, their tops littered with sumacs and campfire rocks. One spring in English class, I studied classical mythology. And that summer, I sat on a marooned bald tire and pondered. Polio Pond was a mixture of cyclops snot and vomit and a foe's blood. Maybe I sat in the spot where Polyphemus clobbered Acis with a rock. On one side of Polio Pond, the cattails grew tall as state troopers. On the far side, where teenage couples left sticky blankets and slung condoms, I caught a bullhead with a sharpened stick. That was the spot where Eddie skipped a stone 13 times and broke a beer bottle. From there, Richie once tried to swim Polio Pond underwater, but he bumped heads with a snapping turtle, big as a garbage can lid, and nearly drowned. My father told me not to swim in that piss hole. He said, swimming there caused things: sinus headaches, nosebleeds, warts, canker sores. But I only listened to him with earplugs in. And every summer long, that old gravel bed was my kingdom come. And every summer long, I would wade into Polio Pond and count the welts the breeze raised on its surface. Dampness. By the light of an early morning moon, my faint father staggered into my bedroom in his t-shirt and boxer shorts, kneeled on the braided throw rug in front of my lower bunk, and urinated on the rug and the linoleum. Another 10-year-old boy's bizarre dream, but in the morning light, I stepped in my father's waist. Silently, I wiped the floor with the rug and placed the rug in a grocery bag and took it out to the garage and buried it at the bottom of a garbage can. Early this morning, I entered my son's room, kneeled in the darkness on the carpet in front of his bed, adjusted his stuffed Gumby and Mickey Mouse, and rubbed his back through the sheet. I listened for a long time to his tiny breath, the cleansing drizzle falling from the roof, and the faraway faint thunder. In the last poem I'd like to read is Bill. Some say he has loose shingles on his head. Others say his brain only got half baked, maybe too much moisture in his crawl space, or a monkey wrench got wedged between his ears. And once an old drunk on the stool next to you said Bill was a POW. See, the Nazis broke his yoke, left him a scrambled egg. But Bill seems uniquely human to you, like God's kiss smolders between his eyes. You think about this when you see him around town, babbling on his bicycle, his wobbly smile so genuine it gleams. Or when you see him just standing on the corner by the only traffic light, blurting hello and waving to the tunnel vision of rush hour traffic, like your town's guardian angel in disguise. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Stephen Smith, for sharing a few poems from Strongman's Contest from Kelsay Books can be purchased from the Kelsay website, from Amazon.com. And that's all for now from Third Wednesday Magazine and Dave Gibson. Thank you for listening.